Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another indie horror spotlight. I have with us a director, and he has an amazing, funny, short horror film trailer out right now that's called Werewolf Babysitter. I have with me my man, Patrick LeMay. Patrick, welcome to the Horror Room.
Hey, thanks for having me. How's it
Pleasure to
going?
have you on, man. Pleasure to
Yeah,
have
yeah,
you
yeah.
on, man.
Very cool.
So tell everybody about Werewolf Babysitter.
It's a short grindhouse style fake trailer for a movie that doesn't exist called Werewolf Babysitter. I had COVID in like March of 2022, and I just had this idea. Like my kids, I had to get my kids babysat, and I was gonna bring them to my cousin's house, and I just had this flash of like I was like, oh, what if their uncle is a werewolf? And I don't know, I thought of the idea, and as soon as I thought of it, I was like, okay, I got to write this. And I wrote like just kind of a very short treatment. And a couple of weeks later, we were filming it, and then it was off to a couple of festivals, and it blew up a little bit from there. And we're very happy with it.
Yeah, man. Listen, it was fun to watch, man. The actual premise of a babysitter that's a werewolf is fucking off the wall.
Yeah. It's a little Home Alone-ish, but still,
it is.
Yeah, right.
Now, one of the things, without giving anything away, I kind of want people to watch it. But there's a scene with the werewolf and a fucking shotgun, man.
Right.
The kid, that was hilarious, man. Now, were you trying to go off the wall as much as possible?
Absolutely. That one, like, we went to the Fantasia Film Festival in Montreal. I'm pretty sure that's where it premiered. And anyways, that particular scene that you're talking about, that got the best reaction. Like, there's a joke, I think, that happens right after, and nobody can hear it because everybody just kind of loses their mind at that particular moment. I did a movie a couple of years back with my kids called Little Evil Dead. I don't know if you saw that one.
I did.
It played at a couple of film festivals too, and I quickly realized that people really love kids and violence together. So yeah, I had to make that shotgun thing just like as impactful as I possibly could, and I think it works.
Now, was this your kids in Werewolf Babysitter?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And did they enjoy working on the set?
Yes and no. Yes, because they're kind of used to it, and we've always done short little videos and whatever since they've been, pretty young, and started doing a little bit more serious work, if you could call this serious, in the past couple of years. So it's a chore. They complain a lot. I do as well. It looks really fun on screen, but it is, even if it's short and it's like really simple and kind of stupid, it's still like a lot of work. But we shot that, we shot that pretty much in a day, like just nonstop from about 1 p.m. to like midnight, and just everybody was in. So yeah, it was a little bit grueling. They complained, but by the end of it, once you see the finished product, you're just so happy to have been a part of it, and it's really cool. So yeah, they're happy.
I can imagine. Now, so when you're doing a screening, when you sat through a screening of it, and you hear the audience laugh at some of the scenes,
yes,
does that make you feel amazing? Like, wow, I did my goal.
It is the best. It's the best. It makes you want to continue. It's also like a little curse. You're like, fuck, now I gotta try to top that. I gotta make something else, and you get that little pressure or whatever. But like, it's a cool pressure to have. But yeah, no, it's the best feeling. It's really cool.
Now, one of the best things about horror is when you can mix the horror and the comedy aspect to it, and you have a little horror. And because if you think about some of the older horror movies, like in the '80s, watching them today, yes, you're a little scared, but there's a little laughter in it as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially stuff like Evil Dead 2 or Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Both, which I love. I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is a little underrated, but that one is like, that's just crazy. That movie's insane, and it's really, really, really funny. I love it so much. Like, I don't know if you saw the poster for Werewolf Babysitter, but like, it's 100% ripped off of that movie, ripping off The Breakfast Club. Anyways, but comedy is like, right? There's kind of like an excitement release to it, and I think horror has that same thing with like either a jump scare or just something kind of unbelievable. Or they're both kind of similar that way. And if you can hit jokes and scares at the same time, then I think that's the
home run.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because I was talking to somebody recently about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, and I was saying that I'm not a huge fan of the series. I mean, yes, you have the original, which is iconic.
Yep.
Part two, which is my favorite, which is a lot of people look at me crazy when I say that, but like part two, I agree with you, it's so underrated.
Yeah. Do those people know that Dennis Hopper has a chainsaw fight at the end of the movie? Because if they did,
it's the best.
It's the best. Yeah.
It's the fucking best. And then the remake, the first remake, I thought was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one.
Because of R. Lee Ermey, is that his name? The guy who played yeah. He's freaking scary in that, for sure.
He's scary as shit. And the guy who played what's his name? Andrew Berlinski or something like that, who played the actual Leatherface. He was a terrifying, hulking fucking Leatherface.
Yeah.
And but if you look at the rest of the movies in that franchise, there's some stinkers in there. I mean, some bad,
for sure.
Bad. I mean, there's a lot more bad movies in that series than good ones.
Yeah. No, it's pretty much like you said. I think part 1 and 2 for obvious and various reasons, and then that first remake, and the rest is like whatever. Yeah, and whatever. And
I kind of hope they don't make any more movies in that franchise. Like that's the one franchise I'm like, I don't need to see another Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't need to see another Leatherface. I'm just going to stick to my memory of the 3 good ones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, what are some, I would say, horror films that you got inspiration from over the years?
Horror films?
Mm-hmm. Or even horror comedies?
That's crazy. Well, like we just said, I think, for sure, Evil Dead 2 and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Reanimator for sure. Pretty much anything by Stuart Gordon.
Yes.
Frankenhooker, Basket Case, and Brain Damage, like the Frank Henenlotter stuff. That's great. What else? I don't know. Like, what a weird, great question, but you're putting me on the spot and like, I don't know. Name it. Yeah.
But a lot of the trauma stuff, like I didn't find it. I didn't find that shit funny like long ago. But like watching it now, I kind of see the dark humor in those movies.
Yeah.
I see the dark humor in the Toxic Avenger movies, and even like the Sergeant Kabuki Man, which is my favorite trauma movie of all time.
Yeah, for sure. Lloyd Kaufman is for sure an inspiration. I think I was 16 or 17, but I met him for the first time. I bought that book, Everything I Learned from Filmmaking, I learned from the Toxic Avenger. I think it's one of the only books I've read more than once. Yeah, that was a good one. I read that one and back to back with the Robert Rodriguez one, when we said the one where he made Desperado. I can't remember the title of that book, but anyways, I read those 2 back to back. Yeah, the trauma stuff is just trauma's crazy. Yeah, I went to New York just to visit the Trauma Studios, and which was nothing. It was like just this little office space or whatever. But like Lloyd Kaufman was there, and I was super happy. And he gave me a copy of Toxic Avenger 4, Citizen Toxie,
which is my favorite.
Yeah, for sure. And it hadn't come out yet, and I had a VHS of it, and I thought that was the best. Yeah, Trauma's awesome.
Yeah, the crazy part about it, the way I got introduced to trauma. So, like, I was a huge horror fan in the 80s. My parents were horror fans, so I got to watch horror movies at a young age. So I got to see a lot of the Full Moon production movies.
Yeah.
And I got to see, but the first time I saw a trauma movie, well, before I seen a trauma movie, there was a cartoon that was called Toxic Crusaders, which was, of course, based on the Toxic Avenger movie. Yeah. So I was a huge fan of the action figures. And then I have an older sister. She was like 18 at the time, and I was like maybe like 10 or 11. And like I was like, and she told me, well, you know that cartoon is based off of a movie, right? And I was like, it is? And she was like, I'm going to go rent the movie.
Yeah.
And she rented. So the first one I saw was Toxic Avenger 3. So that's the one she rented. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is not Toxic Crusaders.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, when they were ripping the intestines out, I was like, I've never seen no shit like this before.
yeah, yeah.
Because
Same.
it's so cruel and mean spirited,
Yeah,
and it was something like I've never seen anything like that before.
yeah. And then I grew up and I read somewhere that it was called like trash cinema. And I'm like, trash cinema, what's that? And then you kind of go down that rabbit hole and stuff like that. And then you get into, yeah, I think I got into the John Waters movies because I had started watching trauma movies, that type of stuff, which is really cool too.
Yeah, because I don't know about you, but like I love Tubi, so I've loved Tubi before Tubi was Tubi. Before Fox got in and became a big thing. And I love a good bad horror flick. Like I love a good Velocipastor or what's that one? Clown NATO. Have you seen that one?
I have not seen that one. Great time.
It's amazing. I mean, it's but it's a ton. Listen, the movie makes absolutely no fucking sense. But it's
nor should it be. Nor should it. Yeah.
But there's some great fucking kills. There's some great gore in it, and like it's practical effects. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's fun.
Now, because I don't like bad horror. I mean, I like bad fun horror.
Yeah. It's got to have a sense of humor, right?
It does. And I mean, but every once in a while, you're good. I was saying in my last interview, I was saying about Birdemic. Have you seen that one?
No, I have not.
No,
I read about that one though.
Yeah, I watched a documentary too, and the director thought it was a horror movie. He thought it was serious, and then he rented out this theater. He did a screening, and everybody was fucking laughing the whole entire time. And he's like, "What? I wasn't expecting this response." Sometimes it's best when you get a horror movie and you can see that the director is trying to be serious about it, but it's funny.
Yeah. I remember seeing there was a 3D showing of Flesh for Frankenstein, right? It's produced by Andy Warhol, but I don't remember who the director is. It's not Andy Warhol, but it's produced, and it's got Udo Kier, you know that guy?
Yes.
And he plays the scientist, and it's really crazy, but it's hilarious because everything. Yeah, I remember seeing it and being taken aback. I'm like, do these people think that is everything serious? Because it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. People are like, everything is super over the top and over dramatic, and everybody's like, ah! Just kind of screaming and losing it. I don't know. So. It is funny when maybe, I don't know, maybe you don't realize and you think you're, I don't know, you're just kind of really into your art, which is really, really cool too. But it's cool for the audience as well.
I do watch a lot of horror movies. I'm like, are they mean to be? Were they trying to be serious, or were they making a joke of themselves? Like I've always wondered that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So who are some horror filmmakers that you got inspiration from?
Horror filmmakers. I have to say Sam Raimi. Like, I'm probably the only person who's ever answered that in the history of the world, but it is true. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, right? I mean, he's right at the top.
Those great.
Man, those early Peter Jackson movies. Like I said, Stuart Gordon. Anything that guy's done, I think is fantastic. Like From Beyond is crazy. Reanimator is crazy. Yeah, who else? I don't know. But just so many. I just love certain movies here and there too, like American Werewolf in London, obviously, and The Howling. Those are two like just huge inspirational movies. And when I was growing up, my father had a video store in the really early 80s, from 1983 to 85 or something like that, or 83 to 86. And I remember, I think I was in kindergarten, and I would get I would be in this carpool, and I would go to the video store after school. And I remember you open the front door, and there was the poster of The Howling on the wall, and I always had to walk past the poster of The Howling, and that poster has always stuck with me. And yeah, that's a movie. That's a movie I hold dear to my heart. That's a good one. I love Joe Dante. Yeah.
It is an amazing movie. In my mind, that might be the best werewolf movie. I'm like, I like that one, and I also like Silver Bullet as well, which I get criticism
yes.
from.
No. Silver Bullet is cool. It's cool. Absolutely. I think it depends. I don't know. I watch American Werewolf in London, and I'm like, no, this one's the best. And then the next year, a couple months later, whatever, I watch The Howling. I'm like, what am I talking about? The Howling's the best. It just kind of ping pongs back and forth between those two for sure.
Now, speaking of what you were talking about, the video store days, I used to go to the video store day back in the 80s when I grew up. And the one movie that stuck with me, because there was a big ass, like, full display of the Shocker by Wes Craven.
Yeah.
And the guy was in an electric chair, just. And I remember that scared the shit out of me. It was like a full display of this, and I'm like, "What the fuck is that movie?"
Yeah.
And it always stuck with me. And a lot of people said that that's Wes Craven's worst movie he ever made.
Yeah.
But I've always enjoyed that movie because, like you said,
me too.
It was that memory of seeing that display that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Before I even watched it.
Yeah. It triggers something, as you're watching.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
All right. So as you know, this is a horror channel. So I'm gonna ask you 3 random horror questions. You ready?
Okay. Yep.
All right. First one. Okay. A major studio comes to you, and they said, "Listen, we're going to back up the Brinks truck, and we want you to reboot a horror movie, an iconic horror movie."
I got it. Can I cut you off and answer?
Yeah.
Man, my dream one, and it's not like a horror, but it's a horror comedy, and it's called Dead Heat. Do you know that movie with Joe Piscopo and Treat Williams?
I have not seen that one.
Okay, it's a weird police. It's like Beverly Hills Cop, but with zombies.
Really?
It's from the 80s, and yeah. So it's basically like a mad scientist, kind of a zombie movie, and then one of the cops gets zombified, but he's still a cop, and he's got his partner, and it's super 80s, and it's got Joe Piscopo in it, and Treat Williams, who's like, I love him. I think he's done some pretty fun work. That's a cool movie, and I'm like, but it wasn't done. I don't know. You watch that movie and you can see the potential. Absolutely. I would take that idea. I would take that premise and do something crazy with that. I
just wrote that one down because now I have to watch it.
Yeah. It's funny stuff.
Second question is, I kind of told you mine earlier, but what horror franchise or series do you wish they would put in next? No more movies. We're good at this point.
Movies that are still coming out. What, I don't know, like Scream. I guess I don't get why that's still a thing. My kids are super into it, and they speak very highly of Jenna Ortega and stuff. I don't have anything bad to say about her or anything like that, but I'm just no. I bring it to every single one. No, that's not for me. That probably anything like Jason or Freddy related for sure. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, obviously, like enough with that. Yeah. Yeah. I think that. Yeah.
You're the first person to say Scream.
Really?
Yes.
Sometimes I think like I don't know why they're still making Evil Dead movies, but I did enjoy the last one. I thought it was fun. And I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe there is like still some potential there and stuff. But yeah.
And I would say the top 5 that most people say, they say Predator, which some people debate if that's a horror movie or not. I say it's a horror movie.
Sure.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, of course.
Yeah.
A lot of people say Saw, which I agreed until I saw Saw X.
That's what everybody says. I haven't seen it yet. Something tells me maybe I'll have that same reaction, but yeah, no. I like the first one. I don't have fond memories of liking any other one, but apparently Saw X is worth my time.
The Conjuring is another one, which I agree.
Yeah.
The Conjuring, especially the last two, we can tell that they're just myth on the cow now. You know, they're not. The creativity's gone there.
Okay.
And the fifth one, everyone says is whatchamacallit. A lot of people say Evil Dead. Believe it or not, a lot of people did not like the last Evil Dead. I actually liked the one before than I did Evil Dead Rise. I'm not saying I hated Evil Dead Rise, but
I like that one too. I like that one too. What is that? The Fede Alvarez one?
Yes.
He made Don't Breathe after?
Yes.
Which I love that one. Yes. I thought that was very good. That was very good. Yeah. Oh, the Halloween movies.
Oh yeah, yes, another one. Halloween. I mean, just be done with it.
I think I like this. In the last trilogy, I hated pretty much everything from the third one. I think a scene in the second one, and I think I remember liking the bathroom scene in the first one, and that's it. And I enjoy seeing Jamie Lee Curtis as an older woman, kind of holding her own and just being Jamie Lee Curtis and being cool. I like that aspect of it, but not enough to warrant whatever kind of shitty movies they're pumping out, you know.
Like, I enjoyed the first one. The second one I loved. Oh, really? Like, I'm gonna tell you, I loved it when I saw it in the theater opening weekend, and then I went home and watched it on Peacock for free. Because I was in my mind, I was like, wow, this might be better than the original one. I was like, this is crazy. And then I tried to rewatch it at home on Peacock, and I fucking hated it. It just dragged.
Maybe because you say you saw it on opening weekend, so you saw it with a bunch of people. And there's something about the second movie where it's like it's kind of the hysteria with the whole town, right? So maybe that's how it's meant to be experienced. Maybe like Home Alone, that movie just doesn't work. Maybe it's a crowd movie, absolutely, you know, because of the crowd hysteria in the movie.
Yeah, so I mean that's a movie. That's one of those movies that I love it in the theater, and I went home to watch it, and I fucking hated it. And there's a couple movies. Evil Dead Rise is another one. I saw that in the theater, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." And I tried watching it at home, and I'm like,
"I didn't watch it at home."
Yeah. If you watch it at home, this is what someone told me. What several people have told me. They said that script was written by AI, and after hearing that, so I watched it in the theater. And I love it, and once I heard that was like one of the first movies written with an AI. And I watched it at home, and I was like, "Oh my god, this was written by this. This can't be written by a human being." Just by listening how the people talk, the interaction, like these individuals supposed to be family, and they don't act like they're related to each other. It's like, wow, I could see how a computer made this movie.
Really,
the script.
Huh. Well, now that you've said that, I won't be able to unhear it. Maybe I'll never watch it again. I'll just remember that time I watched it in theaters. Yeah, I remember liking the sound design, like the jump scares worked.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe, no. Fuck that. I won't watch it at home.
Yep. No. I should never watch Halloween Kills at home. Because I would still been talking crazy that I love Halloween. I would have been saying crazy on my YouTube channel. Well, Halloween Kills is probably the second best Halloween movie ever made. And people were like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Until you watch it for a second time.
Yes, once you watch that movie the second time. Now Halloween Ends, I didn't even bother by going to see that in the theater. I popped that on Peacock opening night for free, and I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Absolutely hated it.
I really wanted to like it too.
Me too.
I like the people behind it. I love Danny McBride. I love the fact that he's involved too. I want to love everything about it, but I just don't. And I'm like, I don't get it. Why isn't it better?
Why do you introduce a new character and make them at the end of a trilogy and to make the whole movie about him?
Yeah.
And just have him off himself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just weird.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was a little bit like, all right, give me back my money. Like, for that one, you know. Yeah. The other two are on me, but this one's on you. This one's on you. Give me back my money.
I mean, at least you can say about Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills. I mean, listen, the characters in that movie were absolutely stupid and dumb,
Yeah,
and I mean, just overly dumb. Like it wasn't even fun dumb. But it had some amazing kills.
yeah,
It had
for
some
sure,
amazing
for sure.
kills. The guy who played Michael Myers, James Jude Courtney, was amazing, fucking terrifying, brutal Michael Myers.
Yeah,
So I
brutal.
can at least say that about that movie. Halloween Ends, there was no fucking kills really. They were all cut off camera. You barely got to see Michael Myers. You barely got to see this Michael. And this Michael Myers was probably one of the most ruthless Michael Myers in any Halloween film. So you take him completely out of part three,
Yeah,
and the kid you get Corey Westmacall was so fucking annoying.
so fucking annoying. I know.
So fucking annoying.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
Between him and Laurie's granddaughter, I was just like, what am I watching?
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Like, who approved this?
I was like,
Seriously.
because,
Yeah.
because Jamie Lee Curtis even came out beforehand and she said this movie is going to piss a lot of people off. She said that,
Yeah,
and then David Gordon Green came out and said the same thing,
yeah,
and I was like, what does that mean? And then I watched it and I was like, and I saw the opening and it had like it had the part three beginning and then the kid fall down the fucking step.
yeah,
And I was like, oh my god, this is going to be great. And then
yeah.
it just went
No.
nowhere. It just went
No.
absolutely nowhere.
Yeah. Good intro, bad film.
Yes. And I did not want to see a weekend old Michael Myers. I just didn't
No,
want to see that. I really
No.
didn't.
no.
Okay, last question.
Yeah.
Who is your we're going to take Ash from Evil Dead out of this. Okay, who is your favorite final guy in a horror movie?
Favorite final guy in a horror movie? I don't know. I'll say no. Technically, he dies, but I was gonna say like the final guy. No, it's the final guy. I was gonna say Cabin in the Woods, but no, I don't think that works. Final guy. I don't know. I don't have an answer. How disappointing. How disappointing.
I'll give you my top five that I've done a video of. Well, I can't say Ash, but Tommy Jarvis from Friday the 13th. Well,
Part 4.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll steal your answer. I like that. No, Corey Feldman in Part 4. No, that's my favorite one too.
And I also like the kid from People Under the Stairs.
Good answer. Good
That
answer.
was a good one. And I even like the main character played by Jay Hernandez from Hostel.
Yeah.
The final guy.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a couple. I even like Bruce Campbell's character in Maniac Cop.
Yeah. I agree. I gotta say, I like Maniac Cop 2 a little bit better.
Really?
Yeah. Have you seen that like recently?
Not recently. It's been a while.
Maniac Cop 2 is out there. First of all, in terms of kills, there's I think triple or like quadruple the amount of kills. It's got a killer car chase scene, and in the 80s, I don't know what like the insurance was or the stuntman like etiquette was or whatever, but that movie is crazy and they do some really, really insane stunts for such a low budget movie. That's a good sequel. Maniac Cop 2 is a very good sequel. But yeah, Bruce Campbell was awesome in the first Maniac Cop. But Maniac Cop 2 is something that, I really enjoyed that one.
And that's a movie series I'm surprised that Hollywood hasn't tried to reboot. I mean,
I heard, I think I read somewhere that Maniac Cop was going to be redone.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I know they remade Maniac that had, what's his face? Frodo.
Oh,
Elijah Wood.
Fleshwood, yes.
And I think, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. I think I read that maybe he had something to do with the remake of Maniac Cop as well. And yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see Maniac Cop, The Prowler, and Sleepaway Camp. All three of those need a reboot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Patrick, where can everyone find you, my friend?
Sorry?
Where can everyone find you?
Where can everybody find me? I have my own personal YouTube page which has like short films and funny videos, just like portfolio stuff, what I'm working on. You can find that at Bunch O Videos, all in one word.com. And Werewolf Babysitter and all these other shorts that I'm doing with my kids are on kidswhodostuff.com.
Well, I'm gonna have the description to the YouTube channel, right? I mean, the YouTube channel link down in the description box. So definitely click on that, and give a like and subscribe, and check out some of his work. Patrick, it was an absolute pleasure having you on, man.
No, man, thanks for having me. This is awesome. Thank you very much.
No problem, buddy. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for coming to. Thank you, man. Well, everyone, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce. I'll see you guys next time.